Religious freedom issues is a huge concern here in America with the presidential elections. Christian business owners have found themselves targeted simply for following their beliefs. Now they're coming together to fight this persecution. Paul Strand brings us that story.
None of these folks thought living their beliefs through their business would make them criminals in the eyes of the law. And these Christians are spreading the word of how an aggressive gay rights agenda can threaten livelihood, savings, and even freedom.
As more and more cases like those involving these panelists happen, Christians all across the country have to ask themselves, do we all need to worry?
Spokane, Florida's Baronelle Stutzman faces losing everything. Washington State is trying to take all her assets because she refused to do the flowers for a longtime customer and friend's same-sex wedding.
Whether you're Christian or not, you have to be very much aware that the government is coming in trying to tell you what to think, what to do, how to act, what to believe, what to create. That is not a free America. When they can come in and bully you into an agenda, we do not have a constitution.
At this Washington, D.C. gathering, Stutzman was asked why she wouldn't take a settlement offered by Washington State.
I wasn't offered a settlement. I was offered an ultimatum. Either you will do as I tell you to do, you will think the way I think, you will perform the way I think you should perform and create. And if you don't, I'm going to destroy you.
Kentucky has taken T-shirt printer Blaine Adamson to court for his refusing to print T-shirts for a pro-gay and lesbian festival.
So here's one more case like dozens of others across the country now, where a Christian business owner was treated as if he's doing wrong when he says all he's doing is backing up his beliefs.
He thinks all Americans need to be concerned.
I don't believe it's just Christians, but again, non-Christians, because our civil liberties travel together. And if the government forces me to speak a message, that's a scary thing, because as administrations change, as policies change, that same force could apply to someone who thinks totally different than me.
Kelvin Cochran lost his job as Atlanta's fire chief after defending the biblical model of marriage in a private book written for a church men's group.
Regretfully, we're seeing a trend to where if you openly live out your faith, it could actually cost you your career or your business.
These owners of a Phoenix art studio are fighting a new city ordinance that could jail them if they ever refuse to do art or calligraphy for a same-sex wedding, or even publicize why they wouldn't. Their lead attorney, John Scruggs.
And it's very scary when the government has the power to tell a business, or really anyone, you can post this statement on your website, on the internet. You can't post that statement.
Carrie Kupek represents Colorado baker Jack Phillips, found guilty by the state Civil Rights Commission for refusing to bake a cake for a gay wedding.
And they compared Jack to perpetrators of the Holocaust and slave owners. This was extra upsetting because Jack's father had fought in World War II and was part of the D-Day invasion.
Jesus has promised us that this kind of thing would happen at some point. So I think it's just a reality that as our culture changes and we hold to the truths of God, that we're going to face this kind of thing.
We no longer live in a free marketplace of ideas. We live in a society where the government can tell us what to say and believe. So that should be concerning for not just people of faith, of all faiths, but people of all beliefs.
But all these Christians say in this decaying culture, it's important to make stands like they have.
Jesus specifically said, if you deny me publicly, I'll deny you before my Father in heaven. So when we have to make a choice according to the way I was raised, when you got to make a choice between your faith and your job, you choose your faith.
Paul Strand, CBN News.